All right. Welcome to maybe a Monday Minute, maybe, of the podcast. We're sitting in a hotel room in Vegas. Just got here after Sheep Show in Reno. Flew to Vegas today. And then here for SHOT Show for a few days. What are we doing between Jake and Pooh?
Today,
Yeah.
we landed into Vegas, and we were originally going to go to Topgolf. Then we flew over a golf course right on Las Vegas Boulevard. Forget what it was called?
Bali High?
Bali High?
Oh,
Bali High.
Bali High. Yeah.
When we landed, Steve and Mark were sitting next to each other, and Justin and I were sitting next to each other away from them, and I get a text from Steve with a question mark and a screenshot of some tee times. And so we just decided, all right, let's go golf as many holes as we can before it gets dark.
Yeah, we were flying over and looked out the window. I was like, wait a minute, there's a real golf course down there, and it's sunny and nice. Why are we going to Topgolf? So it worked out.
We did.
Had fun. Little two-man scramble. Old man dominated.
Supposed to be a competition.
Team Old Man dominated.
I think the closest it was what, after the first hole? We were tied?
Yeah, we were tied after the first hole.
was after the first hole.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just, I think that's when you eagled. And
Yeah.
we just could never
Mark
catch
did
up.
Eagle a hole where I zero contributed to it.
Yeah. So,
Jake, you win the award for most improved player, though.
take
Yeah.
it.
Seriously.
Thank you.
It kind of looked like a golf swing
Yeah.
compared to
a year ago,
previous
it was
times.
like you're
It was pretty bad.
had some work to do, and now it's like you're swinging a golf club.
There you go. I'm ready for another match. Hopefully, a different outcome.
Can we say this? Are we doing golf tournament?
Yeah.
Can we
Yes.
say dates?
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
shoot for extra?
June 6th, right? Shout
June
out.
6th, Shadow Valley. I guess registration, though, is like most likely we're going to have everybody already reserved. It's very unlikely that we'll have some
We gotta
slots
figure
open.
out how to make it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
It's gotta
can
be,
people
like,
email you, though, if
Can
they
we do a
are
morning and
interested?
an evening?
For now?
People can email me if they're interested, but I'm already having the people email me who played last year who are interested.
You get first dibs.
Yeah, that's kind of what Steve and I
Oh,
talked
okay.
about it, but
Of the 36 teams, 34 of them are coming back.
yeah.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah, no, last year was great. That was an awesome first golf tournament that we put on, and yeah, we really didn't talk about it much after. We did the golf tournament, and
I
then
guess not. No.
Well, that was in
It was just
July,
kind
and
Yeah, I was so busy.
rolled
Yeah.
We
right
got
into the
moved.
season.
but yeah, we're doing it again this year.
If you want to shut this podcast off now, you know, like we're rambling.
We're rambling.
Yeah.
So this might be very boring.
It
or
might
you
not be a podcast.
Hear some funny quotes about.
Well, there's the first edit of the episode.
Oh my goodness.
Mark, do your podcast host thing.
I don't know where to go from here. I can edit that after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went to Sheep Show. The goal was to do this podcast and summarize, and frankly, Sheep Show was not a dud. We definitely we saw a dud for like I felt like okay, we probably don't need to go back next year. We 2 years in a row now going, walking around, certainly saying hi to a lot of friends, industry
It's
friends, meeting new people. We had a good time. It's just there's only so many days away from family, and we have to maximize. There has to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
A good reason, right?
Yeah.
And here at SHOT Show is going to be phenomenal. We were here last year, one day for Supplier Showcase, which opens on Monday, and then the show starts on Tuesday. And then last year we flew home Tuesday night, and Mark and I are like, okay, next year when we come back, we're going to make sure we have 2 days out on the show floor because it wasn't enough time as we're just walking around and having conversations with people. We needed more time. So looking forward to the rest of this week. We got 3 days here.
Yeah, Sheep Show was fun. We just heard this morning, because we didn't see it last night at the auction, there was a tag that went for, what was it, Justin?
$1.3 million.
$1.3 million.
Pretty sure it was the New Mexico Bighorn sheep,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
the largest sell price on a tag
Yeah.
in history. It's nuts.
Goodness.
I was talking with Ty Stubblefield, who's president of Montana Whales
Yeah,
Sheep
whatever
Foundation.
the-
I don't know what his exact title is, but I think he's kind of
He's in charge of it.
He's on the board, in charge of running the day-to-day operations. I don't know all the details.
Director,
but I
probably.
was director. Yeah. I was like, does that money actually get put to good use? And he said, I can't speak for every other state and everything, but in like Montana, yes, like the money is 100% going to Montana, and earmarked for managing
sheep specifically.
sheep, and whether or not that's government efficiency and it's actually done well, but it is getting spent on sheep.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's always my criticism of certain things. Is could it be done more efficiently, better, money used wiser? I mean, just any government agency.
Yeah.
Criticism. Yeah.
Talk about last
So-
night, and you're almost getting.
No. when you bid,
Jake,
when you
raised
lost your
your
stone
hand.
sheep hunt.
Oh,
That was great.
that was a good story. Yeah, that was a good time. No, Justin and I were upstairs in the banquet hall. These old timers went to bed.
We made it till 10:30.
Yeah. So I think we were up there like 11, and Justin and I were talking about. Now I was telling a story to Justin about something, and I had put my hand up in a waving motion, and all of a sudden I realized that an auction was live, and they were betting on this hunt, and I see a guy with a
Oh yeah, like that.
Wave his
waving
lighted
his
wand.
red wand.
Yeah.
And he didn't wave it at me, but there was
In your
this
direction.
moment of panic that I put my hand up, and they were at like $12,000 for the chamois hunt. And oh my goodness, my face got so red. And it was a good little panic attack. And Justin and I had probably the best laugh.
It was one of those laughs where you got done and you were like, man, that felt really good. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
No, but yeah, Sheep Show was great. One cool thing we're doing, like, we made these swag cards. So whenever we're out on a show or outside, go ahead, Steve. You have something to say. You don't even like the
No,
word
finish what they
I
are.
like the word swag.
Oh, man.
Jake made these cards, and it's
a great
a
idea.
really cool concept. If we see somebody out wearing an EXO hat or wearing a backpack or a T-shirt, give them what I don't know. It's a free hat or
Free
shirt?
hat or t-shirt.
Free hat or shirt.
Yep.
Just give them the card as a coupon code.
They have
Email.
to shoot us an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot an email.
Yep.
And it says thanks for reppin' X amount here. REPPIN.
So for this-
reppin'.
Is there an apostrophe after the end?
No.
I don't know. Both of you guys approved it.
I did not approve this.
I had to send it through the
I
chain
don't,
of
know,
command.
I don't know how many cards Jake printed, but I said no. Like you need to make
So
more.
for those
but-
6 people that I gave them to, I'm very sorry for the future.
No,
vote.
they have limited edition.
Yeah, that's true. But no,
the
that was,
rest are getting
Future
shredded.
cards will be thanks for representing
and
X
or your
amount here.
support, yeah. But anyways, it's just always cool seeing folks wearing an EXO logo on their hat, wearing a backpack, and just guys.
People that come up and say, "Hey,
yeah, guys recognizing us. Like
I was
we
gonna-
had a handful of times. Go ahead.
Cut you off. Like yeah, that actually highlight of Sheep Show was how many people just walked
Yeah.
up like, I've never met you. I absolutely love your packs. I love what you. I mean, that part is really
Yeah.
cool. That happened a lot.
It happened in the bathroom. That was a fun story."
Were you
So-
there?
No, I wasn't.
So, me, Jake, and Steve are walking into the bathroom, and Steve and I are
We got
chatting.
all pee together at the same
Yeah,
time.
because we got all pee together.
Yeah.
And Steve had Jake and I running new prototype belts, which we'll talk
We have
more
the
about later.
world's most game-changing belt on
Yeah.
our pants right now.
So as we walk in the bathroom, we're talking about the belt and something and something. I walk up to a urinal. Steve goes into the stall like 10 feet away. We're kind of still talking. And there's a guy between us. And you can finish because I actually didn't see all this. Like you saw more than I did, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see really more. Like you don't look at other people in the bathroom when you're in the stall. You just peripheral vision. You know. Steve was kind of talking about the belt, and yeah, it was me on the left, this one guy in the middle, and then Mark on the right, and I could hear the guy kind of chuckle and laugh. And it was funny because he kind of knew who was talking. He recognized your voice. And then he like turned around and he's like, "Oh, I've heard these guys before on the podcast."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
So basically, he was between Steve and I peeing. and laughing, going, "This sounds really familiar."
Yeah. No, but that was definitely the highlight for me. Like, I just loved
The
it.
bathroom?
No.
That was definitely the highlight for me. That was a good time.
Just talking to other people and hearing how
Yeah.
they love our packs. It's just super cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of just genuine, like, I got the K4, I freaking love it. We packed out so many different animals. That part was super cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of good feedback on Experience Project, people saying stuff about the caribou film.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that was, I guess, really cool too, is a lot of industry people, where
Yeah.
people even make films,
Mhm.
like a lot of relatively big names were saying that, like, man, I watched all that, that was so cool. So all kudos to Justin, of course. And then while we were here, we finalized a plan for the rest of the release.
We
Yeah.
got dates.
Justin's out of rehab now.
Rehab meaning building a film studio right now at EXO. So that's been it's been a fun change of pace from my normal editing job to do some construction. It's been I did fire sprinklers for 15 years, and so actually using my hands has been nice. But yeah, we're building a cool film studio, and here at the trip, we've been able to nail down the calendar and figure out the release dates on the moose and the goat and what's remaining of the Experience Project. So that'll be dropping very soon. So
Yeah.
that'll be exciting.
Basically, all remaining episodes between now and mid-February, which is when we go to Hunt Expo and then Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. We're going to get all those episodes out.
Yeah, so at the new office, we have this. The office is downstairs. You got kind of the walk-in room, the showroom, and then the four offices, kitchen, Justin's closet room.
Yeah.
And above that is just a big mezzanine, and it's unfinished. And so we framed off. Well, Justin did. I directed. Make this room
You
16
supplied
by,
the
make this room
lumber.
16 by 20, Justin.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Justin's been working on building up we're made like soundproof walls so we can go up there and shoot content. And then we sat down and we had an Airbnb in Reno, and the four of us just sat down and we had piles of Google Docs and notes, and we just started compiling all the different videos we want to get done as far as just content on how we have this whole why do we series that we want to do with the backpacks. Like why do we offer 5 different hip belt sizes? And just some of it's like very basic stuff, some of it's more advanced stuff, but just going and adding between now and hunting season, there's going to be 50 new videos minimum that are just tips and tricks and better understanding, better education of the pack. So we're super excited about that and getting the video studio done so we can shoot those. In the past, if you watch anything, that's done in Justin's barn, which is an hour from the office, hour and a half from my house. So it's like a whole, I got a 3-hour driving day just to get out to Justin's house, shoot the videos and come back, and Justin's editing, and it's been, so now having a studio at the office is going to be just awesome. Just run up there, got a video idea, we go knock it out. Justin gets it up on YouTube, and it's all geared towards education. Really. I mean, obviously some of it's, we want to educate people before the sale, but a lot of it, as we've always highlighted, is the number one marketing tool we have is happy customers that say, that then tell their buddy, their friend to buy it. So that's what we hear the most is, how'd you hear about us? Why'd you buy the pack? My friend. So our focus certainly is making sure that if you're a customer already, that you fully understand how to use the pack to kind of maximize all of its benefits and features.
Yeah. I don't know if we've said, but Justin's more officially an EXO employee
Yeah.
as well. Like, you've been helping us forever.
Yeah.
Obviously working for SNS Archery. But yeah, figuring out where basically we get more of Justin's time specifically on the EXO side, which is really exciting to make all of that happen. All of these dozens of videos and kind of keep that going, whether that's hunt stuff, studio stuff, and all that. So
Yeah.
it's super exciting.
Very.
Yeah. We kind of, we all work as a team there at the office between, you got Rob and Justin, which is primarily 90% been SNS Archery. Rob's 100% SNS Archery. And the rest of us on EXO Mountain Gear, but we all share the same space and work together. And then, more officially getting Justin just kind of working on a calendar and scheduling time. So Justin has a lot more time to help with EXO, and frankly, there's so many projects that we want to do, and just not enough time to get them all done. What else happened? Facebook happened.
Facebook happened.
Jake really excelled in his customer service.
He's shaking his head.
Nope.
Nope.
No,
No.
we're not doing it.
The short version of a story, I think, there's the long version and a short version. Ended up, I just always remember that people are people at the end of the day, like on both sides of any issue, with stuff on the internet, with comments, with, this one was in like a Facebook group, not an EXO Facebook group. There's just like miscommunication, misunderstanding. People say things that they probably don't fully mean or wouldn't say face to face. And long story short is like, you had to respond to something and then ultimately end up getting on the phone with someone directly on a Sunday morning, it's like...
We had a customer buy a pack and he was trying to get it fitted. Jake was doing his best to get him set up and answer his questions. And then Jake, I don't know the exact details, but he said, I'll call you tomorrow between this time. We, got up in Boise at 4 a.m., got on the plane at 6 a.m., got to Reno, and then I think you missed calling him by an hour. We just got distracted. The guy was very upset that you missed calling him, got on Facebook, posted a, very bad, like saying EXO customer service is crap and blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't see that till later that night. I frankly had a couple whiskeys in me. And I jumped on Facebook and told the guy to F off. Like because I briefly glanced over the emails. Now the guy, I ended up talking to the guy on the phone the next day in the morning. It was a very amicable conversation. We're going to work and make sure we get the pack fitted for him. But to Mark's point, it's just like the conversation we had over the phone was way different than what it was typing.
Yeah.
And how aggressive people want to be on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was interesting.
I say this not like to defend us or EXO specifically, because we have room for improvement, including this whole encounter.
Yeah.
But whether it's us or other small companies, it's hard to be on this side of things at times and see how people talk about quote unquote a company and not realizing that it's actually just people. Like people with a family, with a life, and you know what I mean?
I mean, we all care about EXO and our customer service, and nobody wants to make somebody upset. Yeah. And Jake, like, I don't think it's not going to be an exaggeration to say you were very upset that somebody was like mad at you, and creating like a negative perception of EXO Mountain Gear.
Yeah, it just made me feel sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
that's like never my intention to.
Like my response was to this guy was like and the Facebook post was 1,000%. I can guarantee you we have the best interests we possibly can in making sure that we take care of our customers. Mm-hmm. Is it always going to be perfect? Is it always going to live up to somebody's expectations? No, a little bit of understanding, goes a long ways at times. Mm-hmm. I think there was like two other people. So another guy posted on it, created his own post, said EXO customer service is amazing. You get like 100 people that comment like, absolutely, Jake's always taking care of me. And then like one guy commented like, well, I tried calling and left voicemails and never got a response back from somebody. And it's like, we sat this morning when we were still in Reno, like, how does where'd this slip through the cracks? Because and we're not perfect. We're doing our best, but it's certainly possible that it was during when Mark and Jake were on the mountain goat hunt and Pat and I were answering phones, and this customer did have a bad experience. He tried to call in, and we're trying to figure out, well, man, that sucks. Like we need to do better. We're not perfect. I think in all honesty, we're like 98.5%. Like we crush it, but it's not 100%. And maybe 100% is not achievable.
There's always just room to improve.
But there's room to improve. Like Mark and I are like, maybe we need to change our voicemail to say, hey, we're a small company. We only have Mark and Jake answering the phones. please leave a voicemail or we won't be able to get back to you. Or I talked to Jake about cold calling people. I used to do this in the early days before things were too busy. Is someone called, they didn't leave a voicemail, I would just call back, but I had the time to do so. It's tricky.
Yeah.
But I can say with 1,000% certainty that we care and we're doing our absolute best. Yeah. Is it always perfect? No, but we're doing our best.
Agreed.
It was cool to walk around the show and see how many people came up to us just in 2 days and talk about customer service.
Yeah.
Like several people came up and it's like, Jake, you're killing it. Like, you're doing a really good job. So
Yeah.
that was cool to see.
We're trying to figure out hunt plans for the year.
Yeah, we are.
And we have the good first world problem of like too many options. No, I literally it's like frustrating. I was telling Mark, like, we've got like 20 great hunts to pick from. Like, how do we narrow this down? Last year was like a simple, not simple, like we're doing the experience project. These are the 3 hunts we're going to do. Bam, bam, bam. It was all decided like right now in January. We knew what we were doing. And this year it's all up in the air. And it's trickier for us because we got to coordinate a lot. Like we need to make plans now so that Justin knows when he can, hunt for himself and hunt with and film and do content. And Mark, it's much more travel for you being out of Missouri. And I want to, there's so many different things I want to do. I also want to make a priority to take my son out hunting this year and my daughter if she wants to. It's like, how do I fit that into September? And the first world problems for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And then just scheduling around everything, like September, October hits, like everybody wants.
Yeah, we can't all be gone.
No, we can't.
Small company and we can't all be gone.
Yeah.
Except the cameraman.
Cameraman was gone for how many days last year?
36 days in Alaska. Yeah, it was.
Really? Is that what you had after all 3 hunts?
Yeah.
36 days.
When you count travel days, just being in Alaska, it was 36 days. So it was a huge, huge move for me, my family. Being.
on one hand, somebody's gonna be like, "That's amazing, that's awesome." Also, I know Justin's boys are in a wrestling tournament this weekend, and it's all posted. Every second he was checking to see the live stats, and So all of us are the same, except Jake. He doesn't have kids yet. But it's like
He texted his girlfriend. I saw it.
Checked in.
We're family men first, and it's hard to balance this stuff.
It is.
So how'd that go over with the wife and kids last year? Do they understand, or they watching around?
I
more?
think so.
Yeah.
It's
tough.
definitely changed now that it's more my job. Before it's hobby based, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing the videos for myself and friends, but now that it is my job, and my wife knows what it means to me to do these cool experiences and travel all over, and especially Alaska. She knows I absolutely love it, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned over the years is you really have to, when you go home, you be more of a husband and a father.
Yeah.
And I used to, I think, take advantage of that. You get home and you're wanting to edit and do, a little bit more getting ready for the next trip. But I really have, I think, taken the next step to, be present as soon as I got home. And so it's definitely helped. Obviously, 36 days being gone, that's a lot of time. You're missing football games, and I just try to do my best. I'm pretty much racing the kids around to practices every single night. It's chaotic. It's crazy, but we've very understanding family, and we make it work. But it's funny. It's funny because my wife, she's always telling me, like, you're not going to hunt as much as you did last year. I think I've heard that for like 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
And it's honestly turned into more, but she's super supportive, and I just make the best that I can when I'm home, and it's been good. It's been working.
Aside from that, not work life, but hunt, work life, family balance stuff, what are some of the other things you feel like you took away or learned or observed from so many, not only so many days in Alaska, but across different seasons, species, with different hunters? yeah, me, Jake, Steve were a part of all of them, but you had other
Right.
guys in the mix, and
Yeah, last year was so cool. It was such a different year that I've ever had. For one, I've archery hunted my entire life, and last year was the first year that I wasn't able to. So that was felt extremely weird. Like,
Yeah.
I've hunted Idaho my entire life, and I hunted 2 days on a late rifle hunt. It felt like I didn't even really hunt at all. So that was, just different. But looking at those hunts that we did, starting with the caribou, it was probably the most physically demanding, most epic hunt I've ever been on my entire life. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Just the whole hunt, the adventure aspect of it was, a 10. Like, if there's one hunt that we've been like thinking about doing, it's probably something of, leaning towards that caribou hunt, because it was that just epic. It was amazing. And then you go into a moose hunt, and that was unlike anything I've ever experienced. It was not the most physical, but it was the most mentally draining. The amount of bears, and like, eventually you guys will see this all on footage. I wish I was able to capture, all those frantic moments and the stress. You're not going to be able to see quite what we were experiencing, but that was a whole new, experience for myself, and I think for everybody else, that just the mental draining of that hunt was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah, you want to go back?
Yeah, and it's funny because out of all the guys, I was probably the most on edge. I've always loved bears, but being around brown bears nonstop, like having to have your guard up all the time, I was ready to be done once Steve killed his moose. Like, I didn't even care to kill one myself. But then I started working on these films and started the editing process, and man, it just clicked. Like, I honestly, I want to go back. I'm upset with myself that I didn't film when it was so intense that I was scared to film. Like, I wish I could have done a better job. And that's that mental toughness, that mental, I just wasn't quite prepared for. I didn't know what was coming. And so after watching the footage, having this, knowing what to expect, like, I definitely want to go back. I know that I could crush it on the next time if we were able to do it again. So the takeaway is I've learned so much. I was able to experience so much. The physical, it was probably the first time I've ever actually trained for a hunting season. Honestly, I'm one of those guys that the death hikes, because of my family, my schedule, busyness, I'm a procrastinator. I'm not the guy that gets out and trains.
Or eat.
Yeah,
Or eat.
So this whole trip, Justin's been like, we're eating so much.
I probably gained like 10 pounds.
No, but what's funny is the other night I was like, what all did you eat today? And I was like, well, it started with breakfast, and then like later we had lunch, and then we had dinner. And I'm like, so
No, I think we were going to
meals?
dinner.
Yeah, we were going to dinner because he got his. I have the warm, soft pretzel. He got a pretzel for dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like 3 square meals a day. That was Justin's. Yeah.
So he doesn't eat and he doesn't train, and yet he still crushes death hikes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hunts.
I'm just different.
He just built different.
But no, I knew I've been to Alaska. I think I've completed like 7 or 8 trips now. So I know the country, I know what to kind of expect. And being that I was going to go 3 times, I really had to get after it and train. Being that, that is my job, Steve gave me, all the hiking time I needed to at lunch to go up and get in shape, and that was huge. I was able to get a bunch of hikes in, weighted hikes, do our sheep hike that we've been doing, and that that helped me get through it for sure. So physically, mentally, hunting, the most adventurous place that I've ever experienced. It was a hell of a year. It was amazing.
You're talking about wishing you could go back so that you could do better next time from a film perspective. I'm not trying to highlight that as a film, but it just makes me think we talk a lot about like pushing boundaries or getting outside your comfort zone or doing something new, doing something that challenges you. And most of the time, if you're doing that, you're also not doing that. I don't want to say you're not doing it well, but you're not doing it as good as you can the next time, right? Like when you're at the edge of your capabilities or the edge of your comfort zone, you're generally not performing.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not perfect. You're not going to perform as well. You're not going to feel as comfortable. But you've like taken that new ground.
Oh, yeah.
And so now you go to that same spot or that same type of condition, that same type of challenge. Not only are you not doing it again, but you're going to be able to do the same thing, but even better, right? Because it's like I've been here before, And I learned from not only doing it, but I've learned from how can I do it better. That's super cool.
Yeah, we learned so much just with each hunt, caribou, how efficient we actually can be. How we all worked our tails off, and it can be done. And the amount of content that we could get if we added a day, all those things we're just learning, and it's cool to build those stepping blocks and kind of like Dan said, you're checking it off the list, and it just helps with everything that you do moving forward. So yeah, I'm super excited I know there's going to be a lot more Alaska trips for us. Don't know how many or if we'll do it this year or not, but I'm definitely ready to kill it in a sense as far as the video stuff, the photography, just hit on all cylinders and just elevate, what I bring to the company on a whole nother level. That's my goal.
Love it.
There's a question, I don't have it in front of me to read it, but at some point we're going to talk about it on Monday Minute or on a podcast. It's actually probably a great full-length episode, but to throw it at you quick without you having heard about it. Someone was basically asking how but I would say how you, Steve, have managed to find and put people around you that are willing and capable to do these types of things. And I think when he said these types of things, like he was talking about the death hike, he's talking about the type of hunts, he's talking about all that. So if you look at 15, 20 years ago to now, because I know you value relationships a lot and like the people that we do get to do things with, like yes, the few of us in this room, but dozens literally of other people. How do you feel like you developed that? Or found the right guys, or what I mean? Like it's unique that we get 30 guys to go do the death hike or whatever,
Yeah, it is. It's very unique. I would say like positive attracts positive is what's coming to my mind. Like I think if you're, I listened to Andrew Huberman had Jordan Peterson on his podcast, and I'm not going to remember this perfectly, but essentially he was talking about if you develop, there's like a Greek word for aim, and it had to do with like, to me it was kind of tied in maybe like my initial thought was about hunting, of if you're looking for an excuse to fail, you'll fail. If you're committed to being successful, jump back. Like we've talked about this plenty of times. I 1000% believe you can will success to happen. Like I 1000% believe it. You can make it happen over the course of a hunt. Like you can't, over a 10-day hunt, you could have terrible weather, you could have low animal numbers, you could have bad luck. But at the end of it, like if you keep this positive attitude and you keep this, like this is gonna happen. And none of you would ever argue the case that I'm not like,
Yeah.
no, guys, we're gonna kill 4 moose, we're gonna kill 4 caribou. Like,
Yeah.
if you have that positive attitude and you believe it's gonna happen, you make it happen. Even though weather's out of control, animals are out of our control. There are things you can't do, but the things you can do, I think, can offset any of the bad things that can happen. So he was talking. Jordan Peterson was talking about this in a sense of like you aim. I can't remember the exact how this was worded, but it was essentially, if you believe there's success, then you find and you see the path for success, and you just make it happen. Or like another. I was thinking about this the other day after I listened to that, and I was like, imagine being a running back, and you have like 5 defenders coming after you, and you have 2 choices. You see the daylight between the defenders, and you go, oh my God, there's a touchdown right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you freaking blow through that, bust a couple tackles, and go score a touchdown. Or you see 5 defenders coming after you, and you go, oh my gosh, I'm tackled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you can will that thought in your head right then makes that reality happen.
Yeah. You're seeing potential.
You're seeing potential.
Yeah.
And so I guess I've always just been positive, and then I see the touchdown, I see the success, I see the successful hunt, I see the successful company, and then I think I think other people are attracted to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah.
And if you're not on board, then you're not
If
around.
if you're not on board with that vision, you're not around. Period. Like, yeah. Certainly, there's people that have come and gone. They're like, nope, you're not a good fit. Nope, you're not a good fit.
Yeah.
Right. Negative attitudes or whatever, and shut them off. Move on to the next. And
Sorry about my negative attitude this morning on the golf course.
Sorry, is
Jake.
that why you guys lost?
Hey, we
Probably.
willed it to happen.
Dude, I was
we
trying to
willed it.
tell the guy, like, dude, there's so many worse things that could be happening right now. I do
Right.
not need to deal with the negative Nelly.
I was in the
I was.
other fairway, and some guys hitting balls at me. I was a little stressed.
Yeah, don't deal with the negativity.
The course we talked about this on there, but it was dangerous how
was
tight this
dangerous.
course was and open. Like, we almost hit people multiple times. We almost got hit. It was dangerous golf.
Anyways, do you have anything to
Sorry.
wrap that up with,
No,
Steve?
no. I just think, and then I would say when I've found good people, I found Mark.
Yeah.
Mark found me, and then I was like, well, Mark's freaking brilliant writer, and I mean that you bought something from SNS, but you reviewed the Pure Elevation video, and you were able to communicate in words that I couldn't even communicate how we did it. Jake was super young kid that walked into the office and just positive attitude and energy, and
Do you remember the time I walked in the office?
no,
You were at the
no,
old
no,
one?
no,
No.
I don't.
I was like,
Not
really?
no. When you first came to work for
Oh,
us.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Justin, I don't remember how we met, but it was over time. It was like, Justin's got some real talent. This guy's impressive. And then when it got to the point where we needed to hire somebody for SNS Archery, we ended up working out where Justin came on board. Incredibly lucky. Yeah.
Surrounded by good people.
Yeah, I think surrounded by good people, and as I said, positive attracts positive. And if you want to look at every scenario as the glass is half full, your life is going to reflect that.
Oh, I don't think it takes very long to see that in a person too.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
go on one death hike or one
Yeah.
weekend hunt with somebody and see that's the person I want to surround myself with, or that person has no drive. They're not going to get it done. That's not who I want to hunt with, moving forward. Whether it's hunting or, being a friend with or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you can usually see that because that's a reflection of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Deep Thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. What was that?
Oh yeah, Jack Handy.
Jack Handy,
This is before Jake's time.
Yeah.
It was like probably anything in the 90s.
Anything
Before
before
Jake was
2000. Yeah. Nice. I was looking over here. I see a lot of. I noticed I'm the only guy who doesn't have gray hair.
What?
Justin's got.
I got a
couple
ton,
grand.
Yeah, he's got some.
Yeah.
I got to get a haircut every week, so it goes away.
I think you should edit out the part where Steve said, "If you're listening to this podcast, turn it off."
It's actually been pretty
there's a lot
decent.
of good stuff, and I was just wanting to add, like, it's just really cool to see, like, the people that, or just your success, Steve. Like, everybody believes in you, and so that's why we all, us three, we love working for you. And Pat, Derek, Jack, Omar, Rob, not leaving anybody out, and all your friends who do the Death Hike. Like, everybody believes in you, and it's just super super cool to see that, the amount of success. And
Yeah, we're all lucky.
we are
We're all lucky. Try not to take for granted a single day.
no excited for this year, 2025. Big
What are you
year.
excited for?
Everything. Just a lot. I think I left yesterday. Like we said yesterday, we just sat down for 2 hours, went over marketing plan. Like, just a lot of cool things that we came up with and that we're gonna do. Can't give it away. Can't give everything away, but yeah. And I'm just excited to. Yeah, life is good. Life is great.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, be working with you guys, and there's just a lot of worse things that could be going on. So just got to remind yourself that.
For sure.
Anything else? Closing comments?
Are you closing the podcast now?
I thought it was.
Jake's just taking over.
I looked. I want to go to the $15 blackjack table. I want to go have Justin's luck like last night, and where he won $500. Wait, was I not supposed to say that on the podcast?
No, that's all right.
Oh, okay.
Just don't talk about the losses.
Oh yeah. Anyways,
People did want, like, from the podcast survey, more Jakey, so we need to make it happen.
We're
in
gonna get some Jakes.
2025.
January
Something.
and here I am. We'll make it a recurring thing.
I mean, Final Friday.
Yeah, whatever happened with Final Friday, Jake?
Thought we were closing this podcast.
That was like 2 years ago. You were gonna do a Final Friday episode,
Yeah, it
like
was.
once a week, once a month.
Maybe I just didn't believe in it. I don't know.
Oh.
And I just let myself get busy with other things here. So I'll be a guest. Just invite me.
All right, close the podcast.
That's it.
Oh, here's something fun.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the original podcast intro that we used to do?
Welcome to the Hunt Backcountry Podcast. This podcast and the gear that we produce are able
I couldn't do this.
are able to make you a more confident, capable, and successful backcountry hunter. Yeah.
Something like that was pretty good.
I used to listen to you guys.
You used to repeat it to me, and I was
Yeah.
like, I forgot.
That's all I
what it
listened
was.
to when I was in high school in math class. I was before you guys knew me.
That's for not good. The tables down there.
What?
The math.
Oh yeah, because
1, 3, 4. What do I have?
You did. We were playing blackjack last night, and Jake had blackjack. He had 21. He thought he had 23, so he threw his cards out because he thought he busted, and the dealer's like, you're good.
Yeah.
And give them back.
I just get so anxious. Like, everybody's around you. You don't. Like, I don't want to. Screw my other friends over who are playing on the table, and
Again.
and then the dealer, sometimes they go fast, and I'm making sure I've got the right numbers. Oh yeah, it's not fun.
All right, close the podcast for real.
I don't know what you want me to say. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you have any questions, you can send them to podcast@exomountaingear.com. And we'll catch you on the next Monday Minute or regular podcast episode.
Nailed it.
All right, cool. Let's go.